Morning all. Hope you guys are having a great Monday so far. I wanted to come to you really quickly and just give you a few brief reminders about what's going to be due this week and of course what lies ahead. And then of course mention a couple of things that'll be important to you as we head toward the end of the class. One particular thing that'll be really useful to you as we head toward the end of the class. So let me go into our course and just kind of show you a few things that'll be important to you for this week. So the first thing I do want to make note of, you'll see here on our calendar, is what is due this week. And what is due this week is the Unit 4 writing assignment. That is actually due today by 5 o'clock. Several of you have already submitted those to me. I do appreciate it. And of course, again, it's not due until 5, so as long as you have it to me by 5, there won't be any issues in the slightest. To just talk a little bit, just for a second, about the assignment for Unit 4. Scroll to the bottom. There it is. Okay, so for the Unit 4 writing assignment, as you are finishing this up before it's due today, keep in mind the length requirement. It is 750 to 1,000 words. Most of you did a great job with this for this last assignment. A couple of you did miss it, so do keep in mind that I would like to see at least 750 words for this. Otherwise, I do have to count off a few points here and there because it hasn't been met. Also keep in mind that all sources must be cited. You need to make sure you're citing anything that you quote word for word or paraphrase in MLA formatting. And again, you have links to Outlook Purdue and things right here that will help you with that as you move throughout this assignment. Of course, you can read here about what the assignment actually entails. It's pretty straightforward. Again, it's an extension and a large part of what you did in the Unit 4 discussion board. Again, a lot of the things for this class you've probably started to realize do build on themselves, which is very useful, I think, as you're thinking about what you're doing for the class and how the concepts connect. Academic honesty, don't plagiarize. Pretty straightforward. And of course, with formatting and style, of course, make sure you're following everything for MLA, which means, this needs to be typed, double spaced, Times New Roman 12-point font, one inch margins, numbered pages, all the things that MLA asks for anyway. But one thing I do want to mention really quickly is when it comes to maintaining an academic tone, I'm not as big of a stickler with contractions. If you have some of them in your paper, it's not going to be the end of the world. But when it comes to second person, I am going to take note of that, and I did do that for quite a few of you in the Unit 3 writing assignment. So please make sure to avoid using you, we, your, things like that in your paper. You can begin working toward getting away from that. I know that's really difficult to do, especially when you're writing an assignment like this, but do try to make sure that you stay away from using second person. Okay, so I do want to go back to content, and I want to give you a brief glimpse into what Unit 5 is going to entail. So Unit 5 is a creative nonfiction an essay unit. I really like this unit. It's probably one of my favorites for the class because the two texts you're dealing with are About Men and Living Like Weasels. They're both really fascinating reads. They're not long reads either. And I think this unit's really cool because it gets you to engage in a genre of literature that you're maybe not as familiar with. Again, in my experience, most people are not super familiar with creative nonfiction or critical essays or anything like that. And again, this unit gives you exposure to that. So I hope that you enjoy this particular unit. Again, it's one of my favorites for the course. And keep in mind what is due for the unit, the assignments. Of course, there's going to be a discussion board that deals with these texts very specifically. Again, the initial post and the reply. And do take note that is going to be due on July 6th by 5 o'clock. So this upcoming Saturday, you'll have your initial post and the 2 replies due then. And for the Unit 5 writing assignment, which you'll see right here, that is going to be due on July 10th by 5 o'clock. So you have a little bit of time to work on both of these things, not due immediately. I wanted to make sure to give you at least a couple of days between ending Unit 4 and then, of course, having to have something due for Unit 5. So as you're kind of looking ahead to this unit, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about the unit. However, large or small, I'll be happy to give you some clarification on anything that you might have questions about. All right, the next thing I do want to mention really briefly is one quick thing to take note of as we head toward the end of the course, because our course is going to be ending soon. Grades are actually due for this class on the 26th, which that's not very far away for either you or me. So one of the things I do want to mention to you, every time I teach this class, one of the things that I like to do is I like to provide a last date by which I will accept anything late, meaning any late work that could possibly have come up during this class, and that includes anything from the introduction to what will be the upcoming Unit 7.2 Unit 7.2 discussion board. I'm willing to accept any of that late with appropriate point deductions, but the date that I have to set as a last date by which I'll accept anything, that date is going to be July 19th. So I have to have all late work turned into me by July 19th. 19th. It's a Friday, by 5 o'clock. If I have it by then, I will accept it and I will grade it with point deductions. If I get anything after that, I will not accept it. And again, that includes everything for this class with the exception of the research essay that will be due after the 19th. So if you have any questions about that, do let me know. I have been reaching out to quite a few of you to go about, to encourage you to make up any work that you've already missed. And I really do want to encourage you to do that. Again, you do have until July 19th to make anything up for at least partial credit. But I would encourage you, because you know that you have a lot of things coming up that are still due for the class, that are due, on time. I would encourage you to go ahead and just try to knock out whatever late work you have now rather than waiting until the 19th. So do keep that in mind. I will also add that date to the calendar so you all will have it as you move forward. All right, and then the last thing that I want to mention to you is the feedback you'll get for Unit 4. So the Unit 4 writing assignment, of course, is due today by 5. I am going to give you feedback on that assignment, but I am going to give you less. So you notice for Unit 3, I almost inundated you all with comments and feedback. And moving forward in the course, both for the writing assignments and for the discussion boards, I will still be giving you comments, but I'm going to start weaning you off of my comments. So as you look at your Unit 4 writing assignment, my plan right now is to probably give you really detailed feedback with all the quick marks and everything, probably a paragraph or two, and then for the rest of the paper, I'll be giving you a comment per paragraph. So you will still have all of that, and you'll have an end comment. It just won't be quite as substantive and much as what I did for the Unit 3 writing assignment. So do keep in mind that's what you'll be getting back this week. If you have any questions throughout the week too, folks, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. I'll be online, of course, Wednesday for 10 to 12 from office hours, but as all of you know, I'm here other times as well. All you have to do is just let me know. Hope you guys have a great week. I also hope you do have a good July 4th holiday. I will be checking into the course some that day, but I do encourage you, as I will be, to disconnect a little bit that day. There's nothing to do on the 4th. I did that on purpose so that you all could have a little bit of time to spend with your family and friends. I know an 8-week course is very intense. It's intense for you and it's intense for me, but I do think that we can take a little bit of time on Thursday. As I'm going to be doing it, and I encourage you to do the same, just to disconnect a little bit, have some fun with your family and friends, and then get right back into the course starting on Friday morning. All right. Hope you guys have a great week, and if you need anything, please reach out. Thanks, folks.